love, and everything's as it seems. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love, in this stellar system. Stepping on Mars with my rainbow flag high, machines by my side as we touch the sky. No more billionaires, no more class divide. In this brave new world, we all ride the high tide. Forget the old world with its hate and its lies. Here in space, we've cut all the ties. Love who you love, be who you are. In this cosmic dance, you're a superstar. No more hunger, no more pain. AI's got our back through sunshine and rain. A world of abundance for all to share. With machines at the helm, there's love in the air. So here's to the future and the dreams we're chasing. In this world of love, in this cosmic spacing. With AI by our side, there's no more schism. Welcome to the era of space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love, in this stellar system. Yo, it's 3023, and we're living in the future. AI's on the rise, no more human suture. Machines taking over, but not like you think. They're serving up luxury in the blink of a twink. From the streets of Detroit to the depths of the cosmos, they're preaching a vision. It's grandiose, it's colossal. In the vastness of space, beyond the Milky Way's bars, communism thrives among the stars. Fully automated, no labor, no strife. The machines do the work, giving us the good life. Equality for all in this utopian dream where love is love and everything's as it seems. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love, in this stellar system. Stepping on Mars with my rainbow flag high, machines by my side as we touch the sky. No more billionaires, no more class divide. In this brave new world, we all ride the high tide. Forget the old world with its hate and its lies. Here in space, we've cut all the ties. Love who you love, be who you are. In this cosmic dance, you're a superstar. No more hunger, no more pain. AI's got our back through sunshine and rain. A world of abundance for all to share. With machines at the helm, there's love in the air. So here's to the future and the dreams we're chasing. In this world of love, in this cosmic spacing. With AI by our side, there's no more schism. Welcome to the era of space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love, in this stellar system. Yo, it's 3023, and we're living in the future. AI's on the rise, no more human suture. Machines taking over, but not like you think. They're serving up luxury in the blink of a twink. From the streets of Detroit to the depths of the cosmos, they're preaching a vision. It's grandiose, it's colossal. In the vastness of space, beyond the Milky Way's bars, communism thrives among the stars. Fully automated, no labor, no strife. The machines do the work, giving us the good life. Equality for all in this utopian dream where love is love and everything's as it seems. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love, in this stellar system. Stepping on Mars with my rainbow flag high, machines by my side as we touch the sky. No more billionaires, no more class divide. In this brave new world, we all ride the high tide. Forget the old world with its hate and its lies. Here in space, we've cut all the ties. Love who you love, be who you are. In this cosmic dance, you're a superstar. No more hunger, no more pain. AI's got our back through sunshine and rain. A world of abundance for all to share. With machines at the helm, there's love in the air. So here's to the future and the dreams we're chasing. In this world of love, in this cosmic spacing. With AI by our side, there's no more schism. Welcome to the era of space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love in this stellar system. Yo, it's 3023, and we're living in the future. AI's on the rise, no more human suture. Machines taking over, but not like you think. They're serving up luxury in the blink of a twink. From the streets of Detroit to the depths of the cosmos, they're preaching a vision. It's grandiose, it's colossal. In the vastness of space beyond the Milky Way's bars, communism thrives among the stars. Fully automated, no labor, no strife. The machines do the work, giving us the good life. Equality for all in this utopian dream where love is love and everything's as it seems. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love in this stellar system. Stepping on Mars with my rainbow flag high, machines by my side as we touch the sky. No more billionaires, no more class divide. In this brave new world, we all ride the high tide. Forget the old world with its hate and its lies. Here in space, we've cut all the ties. Love who you love, be who you are. In this cosmic dance, you're a superstar. No more hunger, no more pain. AI's got our back through sunshine and rain. A world of abundance for all to share. With machines at the helm, there's love in the air. So here's to the future and the dreams we're chasing in this world of love, in this cosmic spacing. With AI by our side, there's no more schism. Welcome to the era of space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love in this stellar system. Yo, it's 3023, and we're living in the future. AI's on the rise, no more human suture. Machines taking over, but not like you think. They're serving up luxury in the blink of a twink. From the streets of Detroit to the depths of the cosmos, they're preaching a vision. It's grandiose, it's colossal. In the vastness of space beyond the Milky Way's bars, communism thrives among the stars. Fully automated, no labor, no strife. The machines do the work, giving us the good life. Equality for all in this utopian dream where love is love and everything's as it seems. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love in this stellar system. Stepping on Mars with my rainbow flag high, machines by my side as we touch the sky. No more billionaires, no more class divide. In this brave new world, we all ride the high tide. Forget the old world with its hate and its lies. Here in space, we've cut all the ties. Love who you love, be who you are. In this cosmic dance, you're a superstar. No more hunger, no more pain. AI's got our back through sunshine and rain. A world of abundance for all to share. With machines at the helm, there's love in the air. So here's to the future and the dreams we're chasing in this world of love, in this cosmic spacing. With AI by our side, there's no more schism. Welcome to the era of space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. A vision so wild, breaks through every schism. With AI by our side, it's a brand new rhythm. Equality, love in this stellar system. What up, though? Oh, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing? All right. It's Friday, so for those of you who work the standard 5-day work week, congratulations, you made it. And if you don't,
work the standard 5-day work week, then I wish you the best of luck. I believe in you. You can do it. I'm sure some of you saw the big news. Like, I mean, talk about hitting me off like right before stream. But if you haven't, like, before we get into it, really briefly, like this episode has gone through a few different revisions. Like, I had the original idea, but then the cornerstone video of the original idea, I sent to my wife to review, and we have not had a chance to talk about it. It just skips. Fuck it. We're going right to movie night, double feature. Screw it. Screw it. We'll find out on Monday what the thing is, right? But originally had a plan, and then I need to have a conversation with the wife, and she's been on an excessively late schedule this week, so we haven't had the chance to do that. And then I had a secondary plan, and that seemed to kind of come together, and then the news dropped. Paris. We went with Fortune magazine on this one. Sam Altman is out as OpenAI CEO. Board says he was not consistently candid. CTO Mira Murati to be interim CEO. What up, Boyd? Yeah, no, it's wild. So that's why I just bring that up. We'll want to look at that in a minute. Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative once more from the top. Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. Surprise announcement caused shares in Microsoft to drop roughly 1.7% right as the market closed. Microsoft is a major investor in OpenAI, having put $13 billion into the startup and incorporated its GPT technology across the product line. We have a long-term partnership with OpenAI, and Microsoft remains committed to Mira and their team as we bring this next era of AI to customers. Microsoft said in a statement on Friday. This is a developing story. There's very little that's known. Like, if we just go out here, it's all, check another source. Oh, we got a tweet. I love my time at OpenAI. It was transformative for me personally and hopefully the world a little bit. Most of all, I love working with such talented people. We'll have more to say about what's next later. And then we go into talking about OpenAI and some backstory. Oh, this is good. OpenAI's board of directors consists of OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever, independent directors Quora CEO and Adam D'Angelo, technology entrepreneur Tasha McCauley, and Georgetown Center for Security and Engineering Technologies Helen Toner. So we know Ilya. Ilya was on the world tour with him. Breaking news: Sam Altman fired. Yes. This is why I opened with it. Like normally you save the big story for like later on, but I know how y'all are on the platform. You come in and it come in hot. So Ilya Sutskever, been with OpenAI for a while. He's been instrumental to the ChatGPT and the project going forward. Who else we got? Find out who these people are. Adam D'Angelo, who is 12. He's the CEO of Quora. No offense, he's 40. He just looks young. All y'all look young to me, even though he's like 12 years younger than me. Born in 1984. Used to be with Instagram, joined the board of OpenAI. Like, it's wild. Like, don't get me wrong, we're about to engage in some idle speculation in a minute. But that's really all we have at this point, right? So I need a sign that says idle speculation engaged. Tasha McCauley. Tasha McCauley married to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Interesting. Yeah, maybe I should get that kind of thing. Give me the wiki. That's some bullshit. That's some misogyny right there. Right? I Google somebody's name in Wikipedia and I get their husband. Born sometime in the 80s in California. Assistant professor at Artificial Intelligence and Robotics track at NASA Research Park. Business development at Geosims Limited. 3D models for actual cities. For real estate planners. Currently now a member of the board of directors of the 10 to the 9th Plus Foundation, a company that works for technological innovation and advancement globally. And finally, Helen Toner. We know her. She was on. She was in the Unknown Killer Robots video, and she was on that that AIRL video that we watched. She was sitting next to the dude when people were talking about China. Okay. Interesting. Oh, and finally, Mira Murati. Wikipedia is fast, yo. Goldman Sachs, Zodiac Aerospace, Tesla, OpenAI since 2018, ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Codex, advocate for the regulation of AI, and then as of earlier today, and there's a reason that you do this. You do this at 5 o'clock on a Friday so that the markets are closed. You have a chance to control the narrative going into the weekend, and everything will be cool by Monday morning, because sometime over the next 48 hours, details will come out, plan will be released, investors and shareholders will be calmed, all that kind of stuff. So, idle speculation time. We can do this, because this is easy. Do 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 do. Does that work? Does that make it clear that this is idle speculation? Cameron, you are, dude. What up, Dankness? Also, what up, Dankness? What up, Boyd? What up, Old Lobster? What up, ATS? Welcome in, everybody. All right. So, where are we? Because it's weird, right? Because last Monday was the Dev Day. So either the board thought something bigger was going to come out, or like, because the GPT launch seems to, is it because GPT the bandwidth wasn't able to scale the capacity, right? That they had to shut down new GPT or ChatGPT Plus invites, acceptance, subscriptions. That's the word. And Matt Wolf released a video. Wes Roth released a video. So we might go right into some videos, at least at the beginning, to see what they have to say. Maybe they have some more information or better idle speculation. But now I have made some claims about Sam Altman being a bit of like an anarchist. What up, Digi? And maybe like his secret plans for a totally not socialism kind of socialism leaked out. There's so many things it could be, and there's not enough data. Right now, all we know is that he's out and Mira's in. What up, Reed? Yeah, like, you know, I'm a streamer, so I should just get up here and like yell at the top of my lungs and like about things I don't actually have information about. But even fully labeling this idle speculation, I still feel a responsibility to not do that. It's wild. It's wild. Basically, the only thing we can really say at this point in time is that it's something more or something less, right? Like, whatever Sam didn't do is something more or something less than what he should have done. Can you settle your hash, ma'am? Paris? Not with the mic? You have so much space in which you can be. Can you not put your butt in my face? Settle your hash. Cats are anarchists and resist authority. All right. Oh, you're just putting your little claws right in my gut. Okay, I think we have achieved stasis. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't expect. It's either when you make a move like this, it's either like something not going right, or like you got accused of something, or like you're up to something that lacks that, or that is like a something that they need to distance themselves from, right? When across the board, like when um what's his name, Jonathan something, the guy who plays Kang, right? The thing came out, and then maybe it's not a thing, but then other women came forward, and like everybody was like, that kind of thing. And I still don't know where that is, and I'm not like it seems like there might be a there, but also like there's not enough data, but like everybody, and I don't know, there's so many angles you could take with something like that. The point being that when something like that gets attached to you, then like in politics, it's the leaving to spend time with your family move, right? Like where we're gonna let you go and you're gonna go spend time with your family, like you're going to the farm, that kind of thing. And so either there's something major that we don't know about and may never know about, or this was getting built up over time. I wonder if it was related to the resource allocation between new user signups and R&D. There's only so many GPUs. Maybe Sam had a single-minded march toward progress and the board wanted simply to make more money. Always a possibility. Timing feels related to his acceptance speech like yesterday, the day before at Cambridge. Like they wanted to give him the chance to execute on his scheduled engagements. Yeah. So maybe we'll look into that. But let's let's pause on the idle speculation. We will see if Matt Wolf or Wes have any additional information for us, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I wasn't planning on making a second video today, but this news just rocked the AI world. Sam Altman has essentially been fired from OpenAI. OpenAI just posted this announcement on their blog that it is announcing a leadership transition. OpenAI today announced that Sam Altman will depart as CEO and leave the board of directors. Mira Murati, the company's chief technology officer,
And that's out, right? Like he is gone from OpenAI. He is not like, taking on another role or anything else like that. He is just done at OpenAI. I am not concerned about Sam Altman landing on his feet. He probably has enough money at this point in time where he doesn't have to do anything anymore anyway. So like that is not a thing. I think he does bring value to the AI space, so I would like to see him continue, unless of course he's done something terrible like murders puppies or something like that.
will serve as interim CEO effective immediately. The post goes on to say Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board
And it's that language, right? That he was not consistently candid. Like there's something going on either in how he was executing his duties or what was happening within the thing. Either we're not at where he says we are, or there are things that could be done that he didn't want to do, possibly related to what Old Lobster said.
board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. In a statement, the board of directors said OpenAI was deliberately structured to advance our mission, to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all humanity. The board remains fully committed to serving this mission. We are grateful for Sam's many contributions to the founding and growth of OpenAI. At the same time, we believe new leadership is necessary as we move forward. As the leader of the company's research, product, and safety functions, Mira is exceptionally qualified to step into the role of interim CEO. It also says that as part of this transition, Greg Brockman will be stepping down as chairman of the board and will remain in his role at the company, reporting to the CEO. This news is wild to me, and if I look at my X feed right now, that's all I see. Here's Igor from the AI Advantage talking about it, Matt Vid Pro, Linus Eckenstam, Ben Tossel, Suhail, Amar, Peter Yang, Alex Volkov, Taylor Peterson, Matthew Berman, Nick St. Pierre. Literally my entire feed is nothing but news about Sam Altman going. Like, this is massive. I literally made a post about this 18 minutes before hitting record on this video. My entire X feed is blowing up. Sam Altman was just fired from OpenAI. I didn't see this coming. I actually thought he was an excellent and balanced ambassador for the tech. And as you can see, 18 minutes later, it's already got 8,000 views and 49 comments on it. You know, Ian Curtis here has a great point. Hopefully the board isn't choosing profits over safety. Paul here is speculating that maybe it was because they couldn't keep up with the demand. Freshly Brewed AI here says, I am seriously concerned on the way forward. Hope OpenAI board has figured it out. Interesting to see where he joins now. Microsoft, Google, Anthropic. Luca here is saying the reasons are quite hard. Something very bad must have been hidden to the company. Havoc84 here says one of the most level-headed faces and voices of a company in the wake of the most explosive industry in over 20 years. It's probably one of the most stressful jobs, with half the world accusing his company of bringing on an economic apocalypse and others seeing it as the future. I'm sure a lot more news is going to be coming out about this in the coming days and weeks around why Sam Altman was fired. I also think Sam Altman's likely going to land somewhere else. Maybe Microsoft. OpenAI and Microsoft have a deep partnership. Maybe Anthropic. There's also Inflection AI. What I think would be absolutely hilarious is if somehow Sam Altman ends up at xAI. I'd say that with Elon and Sam sort of having some public Twitter/X feuds, the public, that's unlikely. But my opinion on this, as of right now, as of only knowing this news for the last 20 minutes, is that it is just mind-blowing to me. In my opinion, Sam Altman always came across as very level-headed, very empathetic to the people who actually feared the AI tech. When I saw him at some of these congressional hearings, he always talked about the potential dangers as well as the potential benefits. He always came across as deeply concerned about what will happen if this AI tech goes wrong. And it makes me wonder, is that the problem? Is that what OpenAI saw with Sam Altman? Is that he talked about both the positives and the negatives, and maybe they want somebody that's only ever going to talk about the positives. Sam seems to be a proponent of open source. He's spoken at congressional hearings saying that he doesn't want regulation to hinder the open source development of AI technology as well. That likely goes against OpenAI's current board's philosophy as well. Pretty much every time I've heard Sam Altman speak, I've been fairly impressed by how level-headed he is, by how empathetic he is, by how understanding he is of the potential consequences of this technology, as well as the potential benefits. And to have one of the most level-headed voices in this space who ran the most successful, most popular current large language model company out there actually get booted out of the company that he helped start at the moment doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But luckily for Sam, since he does seem to have this aura of confidence and empathy and understanding of where all of this tech is going, he will land somewhere else if he wants to. Maybe he's just going to retire. He's probably got the money. But if he wants to, he will likely land somewhere else. I can see him working directly with Satya Nadella over at Microsoft. I can see him going and taking a role over at Google or DeepMind or Anthropic or Inflection or xAI. There are so many different places that Sam would be able to step in and just with him being there, lift the company. So again, this video is sort of off the cuff. I didn't plan on making this, but because this news is so fresh and our whole AI sort of niche is going to be so impacted by the implications of this, I felt I had to create something and put it out into the world and just talk about this for a second because my mind is still in shock. Those that I know that have actually interacted with Sam have had nothing but good things to say about him, including people like Gary Marcus, who is a mostly AI doomer type person. He even said that when he stood next to him at one of these congressional hearings, that he felt that Sam deeply cared about what he was doing. So with all that being said, I hope he lands somewhere. I hope he lifts whatever company he brings in. And I hope this doesn't lead OpenAI down a horrible path. That's really my thoughts on that as of right now with the information that I know. And again, more details will be coming out over the coming days and weeks, and expect some updates from me on where this is all going. It's just very bizarre. I never saw this coming, and I'm actually surprised by how much this news is affecting my my head around this industry, because somebody that seems like a mainstay sort of consistent voice in this space just got booted out of their company. Like, this is just crazy to me. Anyway, I can ramble on about this for a while. I'm about to jump on a Twitter space. We're going to talk about this more on the Twitter space, but more news coming out about this in the coming days. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Just had to make a little ramble rant video about this news because I don't even know what else to say. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into this channel. Appreciate you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, me too, big dog. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative.
Sam Altman.
It's too early to say, right? We don't have enough information. Right? There could be any number of things happening, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying maybe get some more information first, right? Let's find out what's actually going on. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like, my eyes are wide open on the language being used and everything else, but yeah, no, I don't like it either, right? Oh, let me bring up the screen real quick. Idle speculation time. OpenAI is going to be acquired by Microsoft wholeheartedly. Right? Like, if I wanted to take a guess, Sam Altman has always been very like OpenAI is going to be its own thing, and it's going to be like generally non-profit with within a for-profit structure and that kind of thing. And Microsoft was like, "Hey, yo, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you don't need that Sam Altman guy, and maybe we just buy you outright." This is idle speculation. I don't have any. Can you settle, my dear? Settle your hash. Don't rub the mic stand. Lay down. Okay. Let's watch Wes, see what Wes has to say.
Fired as CEO of OpenAI. This can
Just bring Wes down a
be
little
real.
bit.
OpenAI's Sam Altman exits as CEO because the board no longer has confidence in his ability to lead? No. Here's OpenAI.com. Sam Altman departs the company.
Hmm.
What? All right. OpenAI announces leadership transition. November 17th. Chief Technology Officer Mira Murati appointed interim CEO to lead OpenAI. Sam Altman departs the company. Search process underway to identify permanent successor. The board of directors of OpenAI, that acts as the overall governing body for all OpenAI activities, today announced that Sam Altman will depart as CEO and leave the board of directors. Mira Murati, the company's chief technology officer, will serve as interim CEO, effective immediately. A member of OpenAI's leadership team for 5 years, Mira has played a critical role in OpenAI's evolution into a global AI leader. She brings a unique skill set, understanding of the company's value, operations, and business, and already leads the company's research, product, and safety functions. Given her long tenure and close engagement of all aspects of the company, including her experience in AI governance and policy, the board believes she's uniquely qualified for the role and anticipates a seamless transition while it conducts a formal search for a permanent CEO. So Sam Altman's out, Mira stepping in temporarily while the board searches for the next permanent CEO. Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. So they're saying he was misleading the board, whether that means lying to them or maybe just hiding certain facts. In a statement, the board of directors said OpenAI was deliberately structured to advance our mission to ensure that artificial general intelligence, AGI, benefits all of humanity. The board remains fully committed to serving this mission. We are grateful for Sam's many contributions to the founding and growth of OpenAI. Yeah, I mean, he kind of was the Steve Jobs of OpenAI. At the same time, we believe new leadership is necessary as we move forward. As the leader of the company's research, product, and safety functions, Mira
There's another thing. On Dev Day, he talked about the commitment to incremental change. Like release a little new thing, let it sink in, work out the bugs, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. I wonder if there's like bigger moves, maybe. Again, idle speculation, which is not above my head right now, but could be. But that's another detail to take into consideration.
is exceptionally qualified to step in the role of interim CEO. We have the utmost confidence in her ability to lead OpenAI during this transition period. OpenAI's board of directors consists of OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever, independent directors Quora CEO Adam D'Angelo, technology entrepreneur Tasha McCauley, and Georgetown Center for Security and Emerging Technologies Helen Toner. As part of this transition, Greg Brockman will be stepping down as chairman of the board.
And that was like that process of like, because like I've told y'all before, is I run scenarios, right? Like that's the way that my brain works. Like I just smash in all the details and then they start to coalesce, and that's how I end up like, the thing about Microsoft. It's how I play board games and everything else. So like within that context, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Like if Microsoft is pushing the Copilot thing, and apparently Microsoft recently, or we're going to cover this a little bit later, but they have their own, like a Copilot builder, like the GPT builder, and maybe they're just, let's bring it all in house.
Board and will
I am wholeheartedly against this.
remain in his role at the company, reporting to the CEO. OpenAI was founded as a nonprofit in 2015 with the core mission of ensuring that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. They're really hitting that point hard. They've repeated that multiple times now. In 2019, OpenAI restructured to ensure the company could raise capital in pursuit of this mission while preserving the nonprofit's mission, governance, and oversight. The majority of the board is independent, and the independent directors do not hold equity in OpenAI. While the company has experienced dramatic growth, it remains the fundamental governance responsibility of the board to advance OpenAI's mission and preserve the principles of its charter. And that's it. Whoa, that's heavy. I did not see this.
Now, if we were to take that at its word, then the Microsoft deal would be out, right? Like, because that would not be in line with that. But words are words, right? Like they are air from your lungs. They lack, really. Well, I mean, your subscription canceled in the sense you still have until the next update, right? Like, so whatever your December 11th. So they have between now and December 11th to earn your sub back. And that's fair. That's fair.
Is coming. Now, at this point, we don't know the whole story. This is saying that Sam Altman either concealed something or maybe lied about something to the board, or at the very least, maybe he was moving in a direction that the board disagreed was aligned with sort of the charter of OpenAI to have AGI that was beneficial for everybody, as they mentioned multiple times here. Now, we don't know at this point. So this is some Succession type moves going on here. If you've watched that show, this is a little bit reminiscent of that. What's interesting to me, so Sam Altman and Greg Brockman, so they're in the crosshairs. It looks like Sam is out. Greg is sort of...
And who is Greg Brockman? Oh, this guy. Okay. He was chairman of the board. Yeah, so he was with Stripe, and then he went to. Yeah, he's one of the co-founders of OpenAI. Okay. Better with faces than with names.
Transitioned down to a regular employee. He's reporting to the CEO, who will, for the time being,
regular
be
employee.
Ilya Sutskever is still on board, so he's still the chief scientist. He's still on the board of directors, so he's still firmly in there. One thing that's weird to me is there was one person that did mention that something like this might be happening soon. Anyways, I'm not going to speculate. We'll see exactly what's happening soon enough. There was one person on Twitter that has leaked certain information from inside of OpenAI before that has suggested on, I believe, October 24th, that OpenAI, there's been a vibe shift and that it potentially will lose some key employees. Could this be the thing that he was talking about, or is it just coincidence? No one yet knows. Once we get the full story, we'll be back with an update. But whatever else AI is, I'm a little bit sad. I did like Sam Altman. He seemed like he was a great person to do a lot of this. I know there was controversy. I know there's a lot of people that didn't like him because he was the one that kind of took OpenAI in a more closed direction, but I felt like we could do a lot worse than him. So I'm hoping this is still good for everybody for the future of AI. Obviously, this is a very important technology, whether for good or for evil, it's important, it's powerful. So stay tuned. Whatever AI is, it's never boring. We'll have more as soon as we know more. My name is Wes Roth, and thank you for watching.
Okay, we're doing a little digital sleuthing real quick. Let's try Twitter Open AI October 24. Do 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 do. And this annoys the shit out of me, right? October 30th, October 28th, October 28th, October 28th, October 18th, October 27th. Get your shit together. No. Not Jan. Oh no, Twitter's hot garbage. There's still value to be found, but it's much more. What did he say? He said vibe change. Yeah, it's a lot harder to find. Yeah, we go from 21 to November 6th. Yeah, I don't know. All right, yeah, we have what we know. We have some speculation. We'll have to see how this develops. So we're gonna get into other news, and maybe some more information will come out today. But I would say probably not. All right, so the GM UAW deal back on track for ratification. After major plant proves, deal had support of 54%. And this is the part. As of Wednesday afternoon, the deal had the support of about 54% of the roughly 30,700 auto workers whose votes had been finalized by the union. Results were still pending at several small facilities and a crossover plant in mid-Michigan, which a local chapter reported voted 60% against the pact. The broad approval, 54%, is not broad approval. Anybody disagree with that? This is barely above 50%, right? Like, it's right there in the name. It says it right on the tin. And apparently, Sam Altman is not the only CEO getting ousted today. And then this happened. Stellantis offers buyout to roughly half of U.S. salaried workers. Chrysler parent Stellantis will offer buyouts to roughly half of the U.S. white-collar employees to reduce headcount and cut costs of the automaker's North American operations. The voluntary separation packages will be offered to 6,400 of its 12,700 non-bargaining unit U.S. employees. This marks the second round of salaried buyouts this year for Stellantis and comes weeks after the automaker struck a tentative deal with the UAW for unionized workers. Excuse me. As the U.S. automotive industry continues to face challenging market conditions, Stellantis is taking the necessary structural actions to protect our operations and the company. As we prepare for the transition to electric vehicles, Stellantis announced today that it will offer voluntary separation packages to assist those non-represented employees who would like to separate or retire from the company to pursue other interests with a favorable package of benefits. Yeah, no, absolutely. Marks the second round of salary buyouts this year. In April, the company extended voluntary buyouts to about 33,500 U.S. employees, including 31,000 hourly employees with at least 1 year of employment and 2,500 salaried non-union employees who had 15 or more years with the company. The voluntary incentive plan for retirement will be for $50,000 pre-tax. Jesus Christ. Don't get me wrong. If somebody dropped $50K in my lap today, I wouldn't be sad, right? But this is, depending on your lifestyle and situation, this can be nothing, right? Right. And pre-tax, yeah, exactly. So like 35,000 after taxes. More or less, like rough estimate. Maybe even less. Fuck me running. What else we got? All right, we're going to do a Twitter dive. We got a bunch of Twitter things to look at here. This. Right? Generative. We don't have sound. There's no sound. But it's generative. It's generating these pictures in real time to the relation of the movement of the individual. You get a consistent character mechanism. You add this to a movie generator like Pika Labs or Runway, and you can make a movie in your bedroom. Dude, imagine in 3 years. I can barely imagine what'll be here in 3 days, bro. No doubt. No doubt. And there's 3 different Twitter spaces talking about the Sam Altman thing. I mean, there's that, right? Like, but those are different kind of movies. But I mean, production values matter, right? Like, instead of the plumber, it's now a king and whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want. Rowan Chung here, Chang. Remember you boy talking about the auto doc, right? AI-powered doctors' offices are here, plus huge AI developments, yada yada. Here's a rundown. Forward Health just secured $100 million in funding to create the world's first AI doctor's office. Available screenings include, well, let's say to include, because right now we don't have anything yet. Full body scans, heart health, thyroid testing, blood pressure, weight management, kidney and liver health, and more. Let's watch a little promotional video.
This is not a doctor's office.
No shit.
It's Forward,
It's a room.
the world's first AI doctor's office. It all starts with the CarePod, an entirely new approach to healthcare with prevention at its core. With health apps in every category to choose from, we're here to treat the issues of today and prevent the issues of tomorrow. We'll start by establishing a baseline of your health, diving deep into all aspects of your health, past health history, current health state, future wellness goals, body scan, biometric monitoring, blood testing, genetics, and more. It's all about understanding where you are today, where you want to be, and how to get there. After establishing a baseline of your health, you're able to personalize your care with health apps curated for you, like our Heart Health app, proven to lower blood pressure in 90 days. Powered by in-person and remote biometric monitoring, you'll be able to detect murmurs and other irregularities and lower your risk of a heart attack or stroke. With a focus on keeping you healthy, you and your care team will be equipped to make the right decisions for your long-term health. Or our Skin Cancer Scan app, to track and monitor things like mole growth, skin lesions, and discolorations over time. Or our Mental Health app.
Get out of my mind. So, my idea was that you go to a place and then just use this facility, but like something that's more like, more convenient. Like in the same, I likened it to that heart pressure thing that is at my grocery store. I can go and I can do my my blood pressure, before going and getting my groceries, kind of thing. That level of convenience. But I'm watching this and the additional tools, and it's like, oh, is this something? Is this like a hot tub? Am I supposed to buy this and put it in my house?
To monitor anxiety and depression with ongoing guidance and support. Whether it's weight management, diabetes screening,
which, don't get me wrong, sounds great. Like, I mean, there are tremendous advantages to that, but also means it's, like relatively prohibitive for a lot of people. I would prefer something like this to exist alongside a doctor. Again, you go to the space, you get your checkup and everything else. You could get checkups more often, which is good for a health condition. Like, you don't want to go your 6 months in between your physical, and then you find out that, like, right after you had your last physical, you got something and you've been sitting with it for 6 months, and only now do we find out, and it's done a bunch of bullshit to you. You want something like the more proactive you can be, the better off you're going to be. And there's aspects of it like you don't need a diabetes screening in your house like that. So I don't know.
Screening or everyday care, like a routine blood draw, COVID-19 testing, or kidney and liver health. There's something for everyone. Because health isn't just about seeing a doctor when you're sick. It's about continuous, comprehensive care that addresses your health concerns today and prevents those of tomorrow. The world's first AI doctor's office. It's Forward.
And I understand what you're saying, Boyd. Oh, you're listening to it? See, I have been aware of that. It just didn't seem to be like, I don't know what's an actual thing and what is right. Like like people having a mental health crisis on the internet is a thing that happens, right? Anyone with Facebook has watched friends melt down on Facebook. Yeah. So it's like, and it didn't seem like anything was coming of it, so I didn't want to feed into it or anything else like that. And I'm not going to do that here. If anybody wants to know, you can find it yourself. Just understand that it's weird and it's icky and not, and if it is that, then it ain't cool, baby. And that's the thing, is like, if it's been with as long as yeah, there it is. Live with Sam Altman's sister. Oh, Lord. But then why wait all this time? That's the thing. I don't know. If it turns out that this is legit, then he's done. And good riddance to him. Yeah. Drone cleaning windows. How's that for a fucking segue? And this is one of the jobs that can easily be replaced, and in my opinion should. Not only is the cost, like, I don't know how, I think it's a 6th floor window. Yeah, 6th story. Like, you have to do a thing in order to put a human being on the outside washing these windows. Right? There's a tremendous investment involved and a safety issue. And human beings should not be doing it. So this is the kind of job that absolutely should be automated. Let's start that over. There's another job gone. Right? And I'm impressed at this kind of weight being lifted by this size drone. I would not have made this guess that you could put this kind of weight on top of this kind of drone and that it can do it. Yeah, did you see that? I was doing the little wiggle as it went. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. So this is for your tinfoil hat kind of thing. Oh, yeah. Good luck, homie. Okay. So, watch this. And there's no sound. Right? This is some computer enhanced kind of shit. Now, training data images were best case scenario photographs like this with nice lighting and giant stuffed animals nearby as reconstruction targets. Their paper shows some attempts at random photographs from the internet with less successful results. Still very wild. So that is so we want non-reflective sunglasses, I guess, is the future vibe to prevent, kind of things. Whee! From AI safety memes, who admittedly is got a bit of a doomer vibe, right? In 2 years, AI agents may always look for the the qualifiers, may cause Great Depression level job losses. How? 1 in 5 white-collar workers have simple flow chart jobs, and AI agents could quickly replace them. Chrysler parent Stellantis is offering buyouts to roughly half of the U.S. white-collar employees to reduce headcount and cut costs for the automaker's North American operations. That could be coincidence, right? It could be coincidence. Yeah. Step 1, companies install keyloggers, etc. on employees' computers. Step 2, AI watches and learns. Step 3, AI replaces humans. Normally, technology takes decades to diffuse through the economy because it takes a long time to redesign supply chains, but that won't be necessary here. Just AI agents monitoring employees' screens. For any given job, maybe AI can't do 100% of tasks, but it can do 90%, and that means companies could fire 9 in 10 workers. We could see a resurgence of organized labor in response. And next week on Wednesday, we're going to talk about exactly this kind of thing with Miss Abinadov. Maybe we'll find new work for them, but maybe we won't, because unlike every other economic revolution, all the other jobs they could do could also be simple enough for AI agents to do. If we rush to open the Pandora's box that is autonomous AI agents, we shouldn't, in my opinion, reckless as hell for many reasons, we're going to have to figure out what to do with all these unemployable people. That's a weird sentence. Like the... Oh, okay. It took me a second to get the structure. If we rush to open the Pandora's box that is autonomous AI agents, we're going to have to figure out what to do with all these unemployable people. And they say we shouldn't, in my opinion, reckless as hell for many reasons. I mean, I don't disagree that it's reckless as hell because we're not moving to adapt to the new situation. And that's the thing, right? Is because it doesn't matter what people want, right? Like the company needs to at least operate within a certain parameter of efficiency. And if another company, right, comes along, let's say, right, I don't want to, but let's say that you create or adapt an existing union for a company that company has to hold on to X number of human employees, right? Whatever that is, whatever your math is, doesn't matter, right? You got to hold on to so many employees. It's in the contract. Boom, done. This company doesn't. Oh, you got automated? Boom. Which is weird because like the auto mod shit, this is fuck you too. Like fuck has been permitted. It's the specific fuck you too, you know, that kind of thing. But okay, company, union shop, boom. Protecting those human jobs, getting good paychecks, all that. Company B, startup, does the same work, limited employees, theoretically down to 0. This company is going to have a much smaller overhead, and in the current meta is going to generate a higher percentage of profits per input. And you cannot like that. And I don't like that. Not a huge fan of shareholder capitalism. I like the idea of being a stakeholder in a company like that I had like Yanis said about the one vote that's non-fungible and it's only yours and all that kind of stuff. I don't just do one thing, Digital. Like your boy, I have worked. I don't want to say the name of the company. I question whether or not the name. Have y'all? What was that movie? Oh, what was his fucking name? It was starring Vin Diesel and Ben Affleck. It's got to get me to something. Boiler Room. Who saw Boiler Room? You know how, like, things were sketchy as hell? Right? And a bunch of dudes were working the phones? Not telemarketing. I did telemarketing too. But I worked in it was stockbroking shit. Right? And I worked in there. And there were the stockbrokers, the people that I would transfer calls to when I got someone on the phone, right? Like I was a cold caller and I would get someone on the phone and like my biggest moment was when I got a whale on the phone and I transferred them and they invested in the investments and whatever the fuck. But then there were the guys in the back that you didn't talk to. I worked in that space. Right? In an alternate thing, I went and I did the whole bit and I got my shit and I ended up in fucking Texas. Because that's where that went to. I have done all sorts of fucking jobs. I have been like all sorts of fucking shit. So if you have the company, it doesn't matter how you feel about it, okay? Like, I understand the responses. We need to... get a wife who makes more money than you. Or a partner. Like, I'm, whatever works. I just, you asked, I told you. That's what allows me to do this. I bust my ass all day long to maintain a home and take care of our child and other people's children and all that kind of shit and do the thing. And then 3 days a week, I get this space where I can hang out with y'all and talk to you about AI. So yeah. We can lose the idle speculation because we're done. We'll just turn that off. We might need that again. So it doesn't matter how you feel about it, right? Because it takes time to do stuff, right? It takes time to change the systems as they currently exist. And so I watched the latest, I was in Paradigms and we watched the latest Second Thought video. And to fuck up your day, there's a thing called Project 2025. And the conservative, was it like the Heritage Foundation? The Heritage Foundation has a plan to continue expanding the power of the unitary executive. Right? Like, what was it? 10, 20 years ago, there were articles about how the Republicans didn't have, like, they were expecting to, like, not be a viable national party anymore. Headlines such as, like, we're never going to win another election. And as opposed to stepping on the neck of the Republican Party and eliminating them as a viable national party, everyone to the left of the Republicans fucked around. Why do you think they refuse to send any State Department people with judges or military appointments? Because if they can just leave them empty, they can fill them once Trump is back in office. Right? And I don't want to get in, because no one wants to have an honest discussion about voting, right? About electoralism. People want to, like, talk shit and, two wings of the same bird and this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, okay, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Because nobody cares. Nobody's willing to listen. Everyone just wants to feel about, whatever this particular thing, as opposed to like the big fucking picture and about strategy. You know why I vote for fucking Democrats? It's not because the Democrats do anything for me. Right? People out here talking about, oh, Biden has to earn my vote and, the Democrats have to earn my vote. I don't give a fuck. Would it be nice? Yes, it would be fucking phenomenal. But the state of fucking play right now, such as it is me making strategic decisions on which of these outcomes is going to be better. Oh, they're the same, and, and they do this and that and the third. Okay, well, who appointed the fucking people to the Supreme Court? And what has the Supreme Court done since that dude appointed those people? And who is, like, are the Democrats great? No, the Democrats suck fucking balls. Suck the cheese from Famunda, right? But who is the party who's doing the things in all the state houses? And am I yelling too loud for you? Not for you, for her. She's like, what are you mad about, motherfucker? Why is this thing I'm rubbing on making you mad? Just settle down. Like, it really is a situation where there is so much going on. And if you look at things in a vacuum, if you pick any particular slice, then you can feel however you want to feel about it. But I look at all the things together. The entire country, the different state governments, the different bills that are coming up. Yeah, some random jackass in the House of Representatives putting up some bill which is never going to get passed, whatever. I understand how that is like not a big deal, right? But the Republican Party will literally eliminate your ability to vote. Maybe not yours, as long as you vote correctly. But they'd be more than happy to eliminate your need to vote. We'll take it from here. And when second thought at the end of the video is like, what should you do? Okay, you give me a little thing at the end. Trade unions. Okay. See, I actually do history. Right? I actually look at all the different governments in and of themselves as it relates to the rise of authoritarianism in those governments and how that relates to, the trade unions or whatever else. And then I also look at the people in the United States and who is in those trade unions. Do you think everyone in a trade union is a leftist? Is a socialist? Is going to herald in the People's Party? Or do some people, not all, but some people, enough people within those unions are engaged in protectionist practices for their own benefit, which is something else that unions provide. And the idea that you can use unions to eliminate capitalism presupposes that those unions would want to eliminate capitalism. As opposed to when I look at the behaviors of the unions that we currently have, they want to help us thrive under capitalism. They want to increase the share of the pie that they get, but the pie doesn't change. It is pumpkin. And it will always be pumpkin. And the only thing I see that could possibly get us a different kind of pie on the table is a massive disruption, a massive potential disruption to the system, like the massive amount of unemployment that would come along. What up, devil? That would come along with AI. And preemptive action on the part of them to placate the masses by providing them with those things. By providing that in their own self-interest, they will provide for the basic needs of the people. As a foundation of why I believe what I do. Because otherwise, there is no guarantee that end-stage capitalism can't limp on for 1,000 years. Whoa. That was louder than expected. I cringe every time a robot in a movie shoots at someone and misses. I think you get the point. Look at this thing. Does that look like a particularly high piece of high-tech piece of technology? I could right now for like $170, I think, swap out this camera here for a camera that will track my face. And if I was more like, if I moved around more, you know? Yeah, it would follow Ferris. That's the thing. $150. I thought about it. I just don't have a reason to get it. It would be a gadget. It would be a toy. And that includes the camera and everything else. So like, right, the actuators are cringe and the display accuracy definitely doesn't match the capability of that gimbal device thingy. Won't stay true for long. Birds can fly through dense bushes at 20 miles an hour. Hardware and software integration is unfathomably effective in the limit. Yeah. A little more fun. Somebody apparently used GPT-4 Vision to create a working UI just by drawing it. This is the technology. This is Greg Brockman that we mentioned earlier in reference to OpenAI, president and co-founder OpenAI. And Greg Brockman posted this as one of the capabilities of GPT-4 with vision. And this is what it should be, right? Like, create what you want to see, and then the tool will make it happen. And David Shapiro just dropped his video on Sam Altman. So we'll get to that after we're done with news. Microsoft has a alternate version of GPTs called Copilot Studio to let you build your own copilots, GPT-4 powered apps. Seems very much designed for centralized IT use, in contrast with the anyone can build it ethos of GPTs, let alone the public store aspect of GPTs. You can start to see how the Microsoft and OpenAI partnership evolves, with OpenAI constantly pushing the capabilities of AI and rapidly releasing experiments with huge amounts of potential, while Microsoft works with traditional large IT buyers who want less obvious disruption. It'd be weird if this tweet has any bearing on today's announcement. Apparently, Squarespace, so Squarespace opted site. This is why I don't go to Reddit, dude, is because your janky ass interface. I just want to look at the friggin' video or the screen. Thank you. Jesus fuck. Squarespace opted sites into being crawled by AI bots without telling users. That's not accurate, right? AI crawlers were announced by OpenAI, and they said if you don't want your site crawled by that, add this information to your robot.txt and it won't be crawled. Squarespace went one step further in the to make it a switch, right? Like you want to turn it off, just go here and do that. What Squarespace didn't do was make sure their website creators knew that, oh, you can't see what I'm fucking doing. Why didn't anybody tell me? All of you are listening. This is a Microsoft GPT thing. This is GPT-4 with vision. All of you are probably, you're eating dinner. You're just listening to the dulcet tones of my voice. Fair enough. It's my job to be a better streamer. I apologize. So Squarespace provided a switch in which you could turn off access to artificial intelligence crawlers, but they didn't make sure that their people knew it. I don't know this for certain. They might have sent an email, they might not have. But people are mad. You know, as an artist, I'm appalled. They didn't opt sites in. They gave the sites the ability to opt out. There is a reason to do that, as we've covered before. You know, they de facto opted sites in whether someone wanted it or not. I mean, that was the case before they installed the switch. The switch gives you the ability to opt out. Squarespace apparently didn't do a good job of communicating to these people, or these people are engaged in selective outrage and didn't do the thing. I don't know. I used Squarespace sometime back, and it wasn't as easy as I needed it to be for my time and tech level. I learned about this today. The OpenAI cookbook, which you may or may not use, depending on how, what's going on with the thing. But it's cookbook.openai.com. You click on one of these things. Processing and narrating a video with GPT's visual capabilities and the TTS API. This notebook demonstrates how to use GPT's visual capabilities with a video. GPT-4 doesn't take videos as input directly, but we can use vision and new 128K context window to describe the static frames of a whole video at once. We'll walk through two examples, and they do a thing here to do a voiceover for a nature video. What's new with DALL-E? How to make your completions output consistent with the new seed parameter. There's a variety of stuff in here, like quite a lot. Using Chroma for embedding search. Some of this is fairly technical, but I didn't know it existed. You might not have known it existed, and you might be able to find value with this. And it appears to be tagged well, like functions, assistants, DALL-E, tick token, which is apparently a thing. So for the more technical in the audience, you might get something out of this and might not have known it existed. And I hope it brought value to your day. So in a stunning turnaround for bias in data sets, white faces generated by AI are more convincing than photos, find surveys. Photographs were seen as less realistic than computer images, but there was no difference with pictures of people of color. Remarkably, white faces can convincingly pass as more real than human faces, and people do not realize they are being fooled. The team, which includes researchers from Australia, UK, and Netherlands, said their findings had important implications in the real world, including an identity theft with the possibility that people could end up being duped by digital imposters. However, the team said the results did not hold for images of people of color, possibly because the algorithm used to generate AI faces was largely trained on images of white people. The team cautioned such a situation could also mean perceptions of race end up being confounded with perceptions of being human. Adding in, it could also perpetuate social biases, including in finding missing children, given this can depend on AI-generated faces. Fucking lovely. The results from 124 participants reveal that 66% of AI images were rated as human compared with 51% of real images. Oh. And it's like I said, we need people who say that they know AI art when they see it. They know AI when they see it. Speaking of which, I want to grab something real quick. If you're in the Discord, you already saw it. So, there's a meme that somebody threw up on Facebook, and like for the purposes of memeing and AI and agitprop, right? A bunch of people rent an entire human for as little as $7.25 per hour. Best price. 10 out of 10 would exploit cheap labor again. Satisfied business owner. Offer valid in Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Wyoming. Right? This is a good meme. This is good agitprop. It's punchy. It does all the things. Ew, AI. And then this person did not examine image closely. Right? So here's a tool that could be used to generate agitprop for your, within the context of, pro-labor movement. And no, it was made with AI art, and that is your focus. Killing me. All I know is I made some hot young studs with AI art. It's ruined my boy toy hunting. They all look like potatoes in comparison to the AI art. Well, there is that. Don't fly too close to the sun, Icarus. Oh. Google delays release of Gemini AI that aims to compete with OpenAI. Join to read the whole story. Great. Elder Gang. I am on one, Igloo. I am absolutely on one. Read and rap is a read and rap. That's what I say about read and rap. Okay, I'll take this because I think this is Richard Lawler, Dick Lawler. Google's next generation Gemini AI model is reportedly delayed earlier this year. Google combined two AI teams into one group, which is working on a new model to compete with OpenAI's GPT-4. Its leader, Demis Hassabis, discussed the combo on Decoder. And now the information cites two sources saying its launch is expected in Q1 of 2024, not this month as was previously told. It also reports Google co-founder Sergey Brin has been spending 4 to 5 days a week with the developers. Man, there's just so much information I wish I had access to. Like, where are we? Is there more? Are there government things happening? Are these just a series of disconnected events that I'm tinfoil hatting into having some greater meaning? Speaking of paths not taken for me, anybody remember the zip drive? Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is a thing that I am aware of in and of myself so that I don't go there, you know what I mean? No, the Who was a band. This is a zip drive. It was a form of data storage. Those are two different things. The zip the zip drive came at the end of like in between the 1.44 inch drive and the rise of CD-ROMs. There was a brief window in which the zip drive existed. And it got up to, I think the biggest size, if I recall correctly, was 750 megs, right? Which at the time was a big goddamn deal, right? And the thing was, when I first found out about this, the value of this stock, the price of the stock was tiny, right? It was penny. It was a thing called penny stocks that was a thing. And I was like, I'm going to invest in let me tell my story. I was going to invest in it, right? Like I had some scratch and I was like, I'm going to invest in this because this is going to blow up, right? And it's on me because ultimately it was my choice, but I let somebody talk me out of it. And it blew up to $27 a share, which was a gain of 2,135% over 1 year. I would have made bank. Now, there is always a possibility that I would have stuck it out too long and lost bank. You have to allow for that because I don't know. That guy never existed unless you believe in the multi-worlds theory, in which case that guy, both of those people exist. But this was one of those things. Is I saw this and it sticks with me to this day. It's like, and I was in Professor EXP's chat earlier today, and he referenced this. He was trying to remember what it was, and I was like, that's the iOmega zip drive, right? Like, I knew, and I will know forever, the iOmega zip drive. It was neat. It was it was in this .com bubble space. And like it blew up and then disappeared in a relatively short amount of time, but it was a 2,000% return, and I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. So yeah, that was neat. And this was when this was at the same time when the Nintendo 64 released in Japan. To give you an idea of when this was happening. Is there anything that you feel could potentially function in a similar manner in today's time? I mean, it's artificial intelligence. This is not financial advice. It's artificial intelligence, but like I feel like the wave to get into NVIDIA would have been like a year ago, right? So that ship has sailed. It theoretically, it's still not bad to invest in them, in my opinion, because I think that they're going to continue to get bigger and bigger because of their relationship to artificial intelligence and the way that artificial intelligence is going to continue to grow and things are going to get even crazier in the stock market. But it's also going to be expensive to get in at this point. Like the thing that you're looking in, the thing that you're looking for is to get the vibe on the big thing before most other people do, right? To see the wave coming rather than get in there with everyone else. That is the way that stock markets work. That is the way that Bitcoin works. Crypto. You can make money with crypto. It's just most people will not make money with crypto. You have to see when it's going to do a rise, jump in, and then sell before it peaks. Or around when it peaks. And then get the fuck out. And that's purely based on you riding someone else's wave. You can make money off a pump and dump. You just have to see the pump and dump coming. Get in the pump and dump with the dump. I mean, you can make EMP weapons at home. There's literally, if you go to WikiHow, they tell you how to make them. This is why the internet is wild. It's like, oh, people are going to use ChatGPT to make weapons. It's like, bro, I could go on WikiHow and make an EMP weapon. It's all about what you do with the technology and where you put it. It is not about, ChatGPT is going to help me make a weapon. So that's it. That's it for the news. I was going to get into George fuck it, we'll do it. Unrelated to AI, but watching George Santos, everybody knows George, right? George Santos, king of the wild frontier. Right? Getting his ass handed to him. Lied about shit. It's not clear that he's going to lose his job. Right? Who is Representative Michael Guest? I mean, yeah, does he have a job? Yes, he's got a job. We don't have to like it, right? But he's got a job. There's a Republican calling for his a Republican calling for a Republican to be eliminated. I did cover Sam Altman. We don't know much, and what we do know is kind of idle speculation. We'll know more over the next 24 to 48 hours. And like that, there's a possible thing with his sister that I'm not going to comment on until some more comes out about that. If that has any bearing, it's wild. Yeah, Sam Altman's out at OpenAI. That's basically where we at. We don't know why. Apparently there is something that he didn't tell the board, and the board said you're out. That is what we know. That's it. Everything else, we don't know. Yeah, George Boulder. No, I understand. But take a step back. Divorce yourself from your emotions regarding George Santos and think about what's actually going on. This guy got elected. He occupies a space that it doesn't matter what the ethics committee might really want. The Republican administration, like the structure, needs George to be there. And if he doesn't get ousted somehow, it's distinctly possible that he won't get ousted. And if he doesn't get ousted, he could even get reelected. You have to remember that the rules. Okay. I would like to point out that he said a lot of things. Right? So, you'll forgive me if I don't rely on his word that he won't run for re-election. So, if there's no punishment attached to what he's done, this is a serious blueprint for future politicians. You can just lie. Not lie like we're used to Republican. We're used to politicians lying, right? We have an expectation of a certain amount of obfuscation and untruths and maybe outright lying. But they generally avoid outright lying because of this reason. If we're talking politics, the issue is that we do not have a legal system that is speedy and fair. If it were fair, it would be speedy enough to take care of the shit without years passing. Yeah, but we're talking about ises and oughts. Understand that when I talk about these things, when I talk about AI, when I talk about the worker struggle, when I talk about George Santos, I'm talking about ises. What is the current field of play? What is the state of the game? Again, metaphors go back to board gaming. Because I would like chess to be, well, I'm gonna move this pawn straight forward 3 spaces and take your piece. But that's not where the game is played. That's not where the board is set up. None of this works that way. Right? I'm talking about, I look at things as they are. Would I like Joe Biden to be a better human being? Absolutely. Would I like the United States to alter its relationships with certain governments in order to create a better world? Absolutely. Do I have an expectation that that is going to happen? No. And it's that lack of expectation of these kind of things happening that inform how I move. I vote for the Democrat Party. Actually, I tend to vote for Working Families Party, but they tend to be Democrats. And I do so because I want to eliminate the Republican Party as a viable national party. If you can boil me down to a single issue voter, it's that. You can't move a pawn 3 spaces forward and take a piece. Pawns move 1 space, they move 2 space, and they take it at an angle. I expect people, like, it's the game. It's the game's rules. It has nothing to do with, like, my rules. I could play in this game if I had made other decisions in the past. Right? Like if I had invested in iOmega, and if I lacked a soul, and if I didn't care about people. Problem is you aren't playing by the same rules. They may have a ref which judges you based on one set of rules and they on another. No. This is the point I'm trying to make. I get judged by the rules based on my position within the game. If my position in the game was different, I would do that thing. I understand. And I feel you. I feel you both. I really do. Let's watch some videos. All right. Before we get into this, let's see what David Shapiro. No, and that's the thing. This space is not a space where like people cannot disagree. If your space is a space where people cannot disagree, it is going to lead to certain filters, right? Like people aren't going to be able to do that. We can absolutely disagree, and it's not like, you know, none of that. Don't ever worry about any of that. There are just certain things that you know, because I'm not a free speech absolutist or any of that crazy crap. There are rules here, even if they're not written down. Actually, like Alina or Read and Rap will ban your ass, and then I'll have to explain why. I don't think David's got a whole lot for us. I think that this is him just talking to his people, but it's only 2 minutes.
Okay, so I just saw the bombshell news that Sam Altman was fired as CEO of OpenAI. Now, there are two facts of this, because I read the whole announcement by OpenAI. There are two facts that are very interesting. So the first is that a successor CEO has not been found or appointed. Instead, they're appointing an interim CEO. Now, this isn't entirely uncommon when a board decides to fire a CEO, but usually you decide to fire a CEO because there is usually a pretty grievous misalignment of values or needs. So in some cases, I've heard stories of CEOs being fired for drug abuse and addiction. I don't think that's the case here, but it does sound like the board decided that they needed to act quickly because they were likely concerned. Again, this is pure speculation on my part, but they were concerned about the direction that Sam Altman was going. And what they said in the statement was that Sam Altman had not, quote, been completely candid with the board, which made it difficult for them to do their job truthfully or honestly or something like that, which is like, that's pretty strong language. That's a very diplomatic way of saying Sam Altman lied to them, which is a fascinating turn of phrase. The other fact of this is that Greg Brockman is also stepping down as chairman of the board, which when you look at this as a set of chess moves, you get rid of the king, or some power player, and then another player loses their power. I wonder if there was an alliance between Sam and Greg, and with Sam gone, there was no more leverage to keep Greg on the board. Something like that. Again, pure speculation on my part, but very interesting development nonetheless. So I'm very curious to see how this will play out. Let me know in the comments. This is obviously developing quickly. I think it was announced literally just 30 minutes ago. So
you got a link
very
to that?
Fascinating way to end a week, especially with everything that's been going on with OpenAI's Developer Day and Microsoft's Ignite and everything else going on. So yeah, have a good weekend, everybody, and stay tuned.
Yeah, so that is where we're at.
Okay, so
Thanks, David. So with the information that he just said, like, gets me thinking. So you had the founders were Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and Greg, and that's all three founders out of control positions. Okay, so this is a person on Reddit saying their subscription was canceled. So I would not use the term. Yeah, okay. So yesterday there was a bunch of people reporting is doing some heavy lifting. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. And it could be entirely true. I don't mean to discount what they're saying. If this is accurate, the last invoice was apparently paid on July 26th. Oh, this is from 3 months ago. So this is old. something happened for this person between July and August, and then they canceled. So that's a hiccup. What is this one? And this is 1 month ago. So, like, I'm not saying these aren't issues, and it could be that these are issues related to why. Give me like. I feel where you're going with that, and then, like, you had people in your AI meetup who might have said similar things. And one, I'm not saying that didn't happen. Two, if this is a thing that has occurred more than once, there could be an issue with something, and they were losing money. I don't have time in my life for Reddit, bro. They could have been losing money because of their like of something that he had access. I mean, I am in singularity. News, right? Like, again, there's nothing to back this up. That is why I'm like not really on Reddit, is because I need to be able to trace it back to a credible source, right? Like I need a there. But if this is a thing and he was in charge of that, then I'm wondering if this issue is something that he should have been taking care of. And with a big ass sign, right? Like that said, I am idly speculating. Jesus Christ.
So, you want to run a brain on a computer. Luckily, researchers have already mapped out a trail for you, but this won't be an easy task. We can break it down into 3 main steps. First, getting all the necessary information out of a brain. Second, converting it into a computer program. And third, actually running that program. So, let's get going. Our goal is to build a computer system which acts the same way a brain does, which we call a whole brain emulation. Emulation is when one computer is programmed to behave exactly like another, even if it's using different hardware. For instance, you can emulate a handheld game console on your computer and play games made for the real console on the emulated version. Similarly, an emulation of a human brain, or maybe the whole central nervous system, should be able to think and perhaps act exactly like a physical person. Alan Turing showed in the 1930s that any computer that meets certain requirements, including the one you're using to watch this video, can in principle emulate any other computer and run any algorithm, given enough time and memory. Assuming the brain fundamentally performs computations, then our goal is at least theoretically achievable. To actually emulate a human brain, we'll follow the roadmap given by Anders Sandberg and Nick Bostrom in 2008. Crucially, we don't need to fully understand every aspect of the brain in order to emulate it, especially hard philosophical problems like consciousness. But knowing it's possible is one thing. Implementation is another. Our first challenge will be to get the information we need from a human brain. Researchers aren't yet sure what level of detail we'll need, but research on small animals suggests we'll at least need to map all the brain's nerve cells, the neurons, and the connections between them, called synapses, and also model how each pair of connected neurons influences each other. We're currently working on getting this information for C. elegans, a tiny transparent worm with just 302 neurons. We've found all the worm's neurons and synapses, which are the same from worm to worm. Figuring out how they behave has proven more difficult, though we're making some progress. By observing the flow of calcium ions in living worms under a microscope, researchers are slowly developing statistical models that mimic the worm's nervous system. We can use this knowledge to determine how physical features of the worm's synapses influence the synapse's behavior, one major tool for scaling our work up to human brains. But human brains are much larger and noticeably not transparent, so we'll need additional techniques. One option might be to work on preserved human brains. If we can preserve all of a brain's relevant structures, we can catalog them at our leisure. And we've made progress on this front too. For example, neuroscience research company Nectome has successfully preserved animal brains by filling them with preservative chemicals called aldehydes and cooling them down close to absolute zero. Techniques like these preserve not just the connections between neurons, but also biomolecules like proteins and mRNA within the neurons themselves, including the molecular changes associated with gene expression. However, we haven't tested these techniques on human brains yet. And the more information we need to preserve to run our emulation, the harder the task of preservation becomes. If we want to scan a particular living person's brain instead of a preserved one, we may need to use advanced technologies like nanotechnology.
What about?
Nanotechnology is often treated like magic in science fiction, but we already know about real natural nanomachines, such as viruses and mitochondria. If we can learn to make our own mitochondria-sized nano-workers, a future brain scan may be performed by sending genetically engineered microorganisms into the brain. The microorganisms could then collect the necessary information and store it in their DNA to be extracted later. But that's just one extremely speculative possibility.
Oh, it's
A less dramatic
speculation day.
but more realistic possibility is that scanning brains in detail will simply get easier with incremental improvements in existing techniques like ultrasound, as we've seen with other technologies. So let's assume we've solved scanning with one of these techniques, or something else entirely. What's important is that we now have the data we need. Now it's time to turn our scan into a computer emulation. We'll first need to take the raw brain scan data and convert it to a form we can use. Perhaps a big list of neurons and synapses, and an accurate model of how each connection behaves. Given that there are 100 trillion synapses in the brain, there's no way we can do this manually. It will have to be automated one way or another, and it's a safe bet that AI would probably be involved. We don't necessarily need human-level AI. Specialized systems based on today's neural nets could be able to do the job. Suppose, for example, that the raw data from our brain scans will be a colossal number of similar images. Then neural nets could help process those images to create three-dimensional maps of the brain regions we've scanned. Now comes the hard part, determining how the brain's fundamental structures that we've scanned, such as all the synapses, actually operate. Hard, but not impossible. For example, by studying the synapses of smaller organisms, we might be able to deduce how a synapse behaves from information we can easily gather, like each synapse's shape and position, perhaps using AI again. We also want our emulated brain to be able to learn and remember information, so we'll need to understand how neurons and synapses grow and change over time. We'll also need data on the timing of neurons firing, on how different incoming signals interact within a neuron, and on the behavior of neurotransmitters, the biochemicals that allow signals to cross between neurons. And there may be challenges even beyond this. We just don't know enough to say for sure right now. However we approach it, this is another area in which we'll need automation and AI to do the bulk of the work, just because of how much data we'll need to analyze. The good news is that once we've constructed the first whole brain emulation, it should get easier with every future attempt. So, we've processed our scan, and our emulation is ready to go. The final piece of the puzzle is running our emulation on an actual computer. Of all the steps, this seems like the most straightforward, but it still might pose a challenge. How much computing power do we need? As a first reference point, how much computing power does a human brain have? Sandberg and Bostrom found that other researchers' best estimates put this around 1 quadrillion, or 10 to the 15, operations per second, comparable to a single high-end computer graphics processor in 2023. The estimates in this range assume that most of the brain's computation happens at the scale of synapses. If more computation is done at an even smaller scale, the true number could be much higher. On the other hand, if we can effectively abstract the behavior of groups of neurons, we might need much less processing power. As a high estimate, we can look at simulations of individual neurons. A 2021 paper showed that the firing behavior of a single biological neuron can be modeled with more than 99% accuracy using an artificial neural net of around 1,000 artificial neurons in 5 to 8 layers, using about 10 million operations for every millisecond of simulation time. If we were to run this model for all 100 billion or so neurons in an entire brain, we'd require about 1 sextillion, or 10 to the 21, operations per second, a little less than 1,000 times the power of the world's top supercomputer in early 2023. Computers' processing power has been growing exponentially for decades, with the top supercomputer of 2023 being 1,000 times more powerful than the top computer 15 years prior, in 2008. There are conflicting opinions on how long this trend can continue, but if progress doesn't slow down too much, then we should expect to be able to reach 10 to the 21 operations per second on a single supercomputer sometime in the late 2030s. There are other challenges beyond processing power, such as getting enough high-speed computer memory to store our emulation's data, and being able to get that data to the processors quickly enough to run the emulation at full speed. But Sandberg and Bostrom conclude that those factors are likely to be solvable before processing power. Any one of the 3 main steps, the scanning, the interpretation, or the computing power, could turn out to be the most difficult piece of the puzzle. If scanning is the hardest challenge, then soon after the first person's brain is scanned, we may have numerous emulations of that one person running around in the world. If the most difficult step is converting our scan into an emulation, then when we do figure that out, we may already have full brain scans of a number of individuals ready to go. A reason that might happen is if interpretation takes more computing power than running the actual emulation. If computing power is the limiting factor, either for running the emulation itself or to run our scan conversion algorithms, we might see steady progress as brain emulations of larger and more complex animals or regions of the brain are slowly developed on the most advanced supercomputers. However we've arrived here, it's been a difficult path. We've developed and refined new methods of neural scanning, advanced our understanding of the brain's structure by leaps and bounds, and taken advantage of decades of progress in computing hardware. Now we're finally ready to turn on our first whole brain emulation. It's time to flip the switch and say hello to a new kind of human.
And that gets into the concept of what it means to be human, which is something I wanted to touch on for quite some time and haven't got around to it because I could barely cover the information that's new, let alone go back and kind of analyze with y'all. Yeah, it does. It do be approach a thing. Let's look at a robot.
At Boston.
Now, we looked at Stretch in its current form in a previous episode, but I'm interested to see the evolution, see how long it took, see the different steps, that kind of thing.
Boston Dynamics, we really focus on doing closed-loop control for robots. What I mean by that is it's always learning from the environment and reacting to it. Stretch is our first robot that's really purpose-built for the warehouse. It moves cases all day long, it doesn't get tired, and it doesn't get injured.
The Stretch's morphology is a mobile base with a capable drive system to move in any direction, which houses the compute and the battery.
A superior form for a robot rather than a humanoid form.
Battery power to control the whole robot. On top of that, we call the turntable, which carries the robot's arm, a perception mast, and the vacuum system. The whole system was designed together. It's not an arm bolted onto a base. It's really a single robot. The other thing that makes Stretch special is that it's able to understand the environment and make its own decisions about what to do next.
The The robot's really aware of its state and the state of the world around it, and it's reacting even as things unfold away from the ideal. So some people will design robot trajectories that are...
Wait. That dude in the StonerCast chat told me that they work in AI and that AI and robots can't deal with novelty.
Pre-planned or feed forward and assume that everything will just go perfectly and you'll stay right on that trajectory. But of course, the real world doesn't usually unfold that way. Even though Stretch looks very different than Atlas, a lot of the underlying technology is shared. We're able to use the same technological building blocks and really create very different types of robots, whether it's a humanoid or a more purpose-built robot like Stretch.
We were doing some internal research on manipulation with Atlas, and we happened to use boxes for this demonstration. When we released this video, we got a lot of incoming calls that Atlas would be perfect for a warehouse, and we want to buy one. We knew that it wasn't really the right fit for a product at the time, but we realized that it was an indication of a market need.
We thought, well, maybe we can build a robot that's a little more simple and a little more purpose-built for the warehouse, and that's how we got to Handle.
The initial idea was to combine the best of wheels and legs. Warehouses have very large open floor spaces that are very flat. We wanted to understand what are the capabilities and limits of a system that has that combination of wheels and legs. So we put it through an obstacle course, classic Boston Dynamics style. Early versions of Handle leveraged copies of Atlas's arms on the torso to pick up and move objects. But they weren't really designed for the kinds of range of motion and applications that Handle was really intended to do. Once we started to think more about the workspace needed to do pallet manipulation, box moving, and truck unloading, we reimagined the entire design into something that really suits the workspace of the applications in the warehouse.
So Handle has, let's say, three main components. There's the wheels that it uses for mobility and for balance. There's the tail. The tail, interestingly, is where the battery goes, and that's by design. So as Handle is moving across or reaching across a pallet to grab boxes, the tail acts as a counterbalance so it doesn't fall forward. The third element of Handle is an arm that is designed specifically for warehouses, and on the end of that arm is a vacuum suction gripper, and that enables it to quickly pick up boxes. And we even took Handle out into some warehouses with some early adopter partners and tried to do some real warehouse tasks. The problem was that Handle has to spend a lot of time maneuvering to really do its job.
Imagine trying to do certain things in a warehouse environment when you're wearing rollerblades, and it just slows down the speed of operation when you're trying to, move a box from point A to point B. It's hard to continually have to turn, go, turn.
We could only look where the robot body was pointed, and combining that with the constraints of balancing meant that there was a lot of extra motion of the whole body to move a box from one point to another. And when you're unloading a truck, that's a kind of repeated motion that needs to be as quick as possible.
When we realized that Handle was a little too slow to do the job, we quickly pivoted to Stretch. The prototype of Stretch consists of three main pieces. There's the base, which is about the size of a pallet. There's the arm, which does the manipulation, and there's something we call the perception mast. So that's a tall mast next to the arm that has Stretch's vision system.
The mast is individually actuated, so it can look around independent of what the arm is doing, and it can see what to do next.
The sensors on the perception mast, we can point at anything we need to see, whether it's boxes, pallets, or conveyors, and we can opportunistically take pictures whenever we need to. Those pictures are then fed into a custom-built machine learning algorithm that's able to identify where the objects of interest, like boxes, are in the image.
The arm is a 7-degree of freedom arm, so there's a little more flexibility than a traditional industrial robot arm in order to fit into tighter spaces and have more solutions to move through the space. And then at the end, we have a vacuum gripper that allows us to attach to the box and maintain a good grasp.
The mobile base was really maneuverable. You could drive in any direction you need to, forward, backward, left, right. You could turn in place. You could do combinations of those motions. So that maneuverability was really a big advantage, especially in tight spaces like the back of a truck or narrow aisles in a warehouse.
So once the prototype of Stretch started looking promising, we started designing the product version of Stretch.
We revisited every component to make sure it was going to be reliable, cost-effective, safe, and have the performance needed for the market. What resulted is a brand new machine.
One big difference is the sound. So we have a new vacuum pump. It's much more quiet. The robot's a lot easier to work around. Another big difference with the product version of Stretch is that it has a brand new safety system on board. So that means it has an onboard dedicated safety computer. It has dedicated sensors that are redundant and enable us to be safety compliant. And it has safety rated LiDARs at the base of the robot that enables it to have a really high reliable way of detecting people getting too close to the robot. The same folks that designed the Atlas robot came on board and designed a whole new gripper that we call the Smart Gripper. That gripper is full of sensing and pneumatic control, and it's able to handle not just perfect boxes, but boxes that may have some damage to them. It enables us to pick up more than one box at a time.
Stretch is continually learning and improving. We're constantly analyzing data that we're getting in from robots in the field. Machine learning, or especially deep learning, is inherently very data hungry. So the more data you can collect, the more images you can capture, the more experiences Stretch can leverage, the better off it's going to do.
Stretch is out in the world, moving boxes every day at multiple sites. We're watching the numbers climb. We're getting rave reviews of its ability to get the job done in the worst conditions. We hear stories of trailers pulling up full of thousands and thousands of 50-pound boxes. You know, this could be in the summertime where the temperatures are over 100 degrees inside this metal box. And those are grueling conditions for the people who are asked to unload them. They're very happy to be able to push a button and have Stretch go in and do that job while they work on other higher value operations within the warehouse.
I got into engineering, robotics, machine learning because I wanted to work on real problems and try to do some good in the world. It's been really cool to see the robots evolve as they become better fit for these applications we're targeting.
For a company that has made its history with exciting robots walking around and doing backflips, you get a very different sense when you see Stretch operating. It's really interesting for a few minutes, and then you realize it's boring. This thing just keeps going all day long and doing real work.
It's really cool to know that the things we're creating are out in the world, they're helping people. And as we scale up, there's probably a Stretch running at all times of the day.
Let's see if we can find some information. Okay, so it's currently $300,000 to $500,000 per unit. So if you're looking at a straight one-to-one comparison, and a spot is $74,000. And this is from a year ago. So this is, can we get a more current price? It might have gone down. It might not have. See if we can get anything on. Boston Dynamics Lord of the Robots has a new target to conquer. This is from, I think that was 4 days ago. 2 or 4 legs of robots from this MIT spinoff are among the most advanced in the world. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Background. Background. In a logistics sector that's becoming increasingly automated, Boston Dynamics see a bright future for Stretch. Distribution giant DHL Supply Chain signed a 3-year, $15 million pre-order and is starting to implement Stretch in some of its warehouses. Boston Dynamics does not say how many robots have been ordered, nor does it give the price of Stretch, but we got that. So if we divide $15 million by 500,000, that's 30 robots. And we can assume not all of that is robots, right? So it might be less robots and more other infrastructure. Kevin estimates that it's equivalent to the cost of 2 shifts over 2 years. A single employee should be able to supervise 5 Stretch robots. So that's a 80% loss in available jobs. Now, according to this, our customers' real problem is that they can't find the workforce. Nobody wants to work anymore. You have to imagine what it's like to lift 20-kilogram boxes in the cold or in the heat for whole days. It's a job marked by high turnover and frequent workplace accidents. Fair enough. Break down the cost of the warehouse robot versus 3 shifts of employees who do the same thing. Assuming it's $400,000 per robot, divide that by 3. $133K per shift per robot. Amazon warehouse 75th percentile earnings is $34,000. K, it's going to get stupid cheap, stupid fast. Yeah, and this is Stretch. We know that Amazon has already built or has already added robots to their warehouse in Western New York. They recently opened up a local distribution hub. I'm almost tempted to get a job to see what's going on inside there. What up, Peter? So yeah. But I will see. I'll see if I can find any people who might be able to give us a peek inside. All right. Let's knock out. This is Matt Wolf. He dropped this earlier today. This is the news prior to the Sam Altman thing. And then that will be it for today. Remember that today is movie night in the Discord. That's good. It's always good to be back home. Home is where you keep all your stuff. And, like, go big or go home. I'm going home. I'm out. Yeah. Movie night. I don't know what we're going to watch. I haven't decided. What do we got on the list? I feel like I want something a little less, I don't know. Like none of these are oh, sorry to hear that. It's one of the things about like they released an AI to predict crime, and the AI had like a 1% effectiveness rate, and people are like, "Oh, look, it's a waste of money," and like that. I'm like, "No, man, AI is a comrade, dude. AI ain't no snitch." I almost feel like I want to watch Millennium Man, but that's a long one. We're going to watch I Am Mother. Can you suggest Terminator? Terminator, if we watch Terminator, then that's what we're watching for the next 6 weeks. Or 7 weeks, however many there are, because that's how we do. We're going to watch I Am Mother. If you haven't seen I Am Mother, you should, and if you haven't, then tonight is the night. So, there's the Discord. It'll somewhere between 8:15 and 8:30 probably. And it'll be in the watch together. And like that. So, let's watch this video, handle business, and then we'll move on.
All right, let's get into the AI news for this week. Last week, pretty much everybody finally got access to GPTs inside of ChatGPT, assuming you're a ChatGPT Plus subscriber. This week, well, it seems everybody was trying them out, and ChatGPT got a little overwhelmed. You can see from this tweet here on November 14th from Sam Altman, we're pausing new ChatGPT Plus signups for a bit. The surge in usage post-Dev Day has exceeded our capacity, and we want to make sure everyone has a great experience. And not only have they paused new signups for ChatGPT Plus, ChatGPT has been really slow lately, and it seems to be way easier to hit the usage cap than it used to. When I was recording my most recent video about how to create your own GPTs, while I was trying to demonstrate stuff, I was actually getting rate limited after only 15 prompts. So I'd enter 15 prompts and then it would tell me to wait 2 hours before I can prompt again. So that 25-minute video.
And I've been having a similar experience, right? Like I will engage, and at a much shorter period of time will say, heavy load, try again later.
Literally took me about 6 hours to record so that I could just pick up where I left off and continue prompting again. So hopefully ChatGPT figures out how to scale this and we can get back to normal with ChatGPT usage. Speaking of OpenAI and GPT, apparently OpenAI is starting to work on GPT-5. And according to Sam Altman, it could even be super intelligent. Sam Altman recently did an interview with the Financial Times, and in that interview, he said that they actually need more investment from Microsoft in order to continue building more major AI models. Now, the OpenAI team hasn't actually set a timeline for GPT-5, and they haven't really said what the capabilities it might have are, but according to Sam Altman, they are starting to work on it. But personally, I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. Training these models.
And with Sam Altman getting fired, the state of play is now highly unknown. So
models takes a lot of compute power and a lot of time. If I had to guess, I don't think we'll see GPT-5 in 2024, maybe 2025. We'll have to see. Saying that, I have made predictions about how far out things are going to happen, and almost every time I've done that, they happen way faster than what I claim they will. So I'm probably wrong there. There's also actually a ton of news coming out of the Microsoft camp this week, who happens to be OpenAI's biggest partner. This week was Microsoft's Ignite event, which was mostly focused on their Azure cloud computing platform and the advancements they've done with the cloud computing, but there was a few AI announcements throughout this keynote, including how all of OpenAI's tech is actually going to be rolled into the Microsoft Azure cloud.
As OpenAI innovates, we will deliver all of that innovation as part of Azure AI. And we are bringing the very latest of GPT-4, including GPT-4 Turbo, GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, to Azure OpenAI Service.
Now, in one of the coolest moments of this keynote, Satya Nadella actually showed off something that we haven't even seen yet from ChatGPT, and that's the inclusion of adding videos into a prompt. Now, this was only a slight, couple segment of this entire keynote, but I can't wait to start using this myself.
Soon, you'll be able to connect GPT-4 Turbo with Vision to Azure AI Vision, allowing you to prompt with video images and text. In fact, our customer WPP is already using this today with one of their largest clients.
They also announced what they called models as a service, where you can use the Microsoft Azure cloud to fine tune and custom train your own Stable Diffusion, CodeLlama, Mistral 7B, and other models directly on their clouds. And since NVIDIA is a part of everything and Jensen Huang needs to show up at every single keynote, there was a quick cameo from Jensen talking about how NVIDIA and Microsoft are deepening their partnership and how Microsoft is going to start using the H200 chips that NVIDIA is putting out soon. They're also completely overhauling Microsoft Teams, where you can now create your own avatars and show up onto team calls using your avatar instead of your real face. And you'll even be able to prompt in your own meeting space to look how you want that meeting space to look when you do your Microsoft Teams meetings. It also sounds like Microsoft is going all in on the Copilot branding. Instead of Bing Chat, pretty much everything is now going to be Microsoft Copilot.
Bing Chat is
Then change Bing to Copilot. I would much rather Copilot something as opposed to Googling it. I will never Bing things. You know what I mean? It's just take the opportunity. Change the name. Copilot, 1,000 times better than Bing. Go with it.
now Copilot. It's a standalone destination and it works wherever you are, on Microsoft Edge, on Google Chrome, on Safari, as well as mobile apps coming soon to you.
And speaking of OpenAI and their GPTs, you're going to be able to use GPTs inside of Microsoft Copilot pretty soon, as well as various plugins from Microsoft that they announced in a previous keynote.
GPTs are a new way for anyone to create a tailored version of ChatGPT that's more helpful for very specific tasks at work or at home. And going forward, you will be able to use both plugins and GPTs in Copilot to tailor your experience.
And this week I even saw from Paul Cuvée.
I'm really feeling the Microsoft takeover of OpenAI. Again, like, I don't have the evidence, I don't have the proof. It's just vibes, but I'm feeling it, man.
Here that in some Bing accounts, the plugins have already started rolling out. Now, I checked my account. They're not in my account yet. Paul does give instructions to check to see if it's in your account. You basically go to bing.com/chat. And if you see this new little plugins tab next to your recent activity, well, then it's rolled out into your account. But this is a little bit of a preview of what it looks like. You can see we've got Instacart, Kayak, Klarna, OpenTable, Shop, and Search as initial available plugins inside of Microsoft Copilot. And then the last really interesting thing that I found from this main keynote, Satya talked about Copilot Studio.
We're announcing Copilot Studio. You know, with Copilot Studio, you can build custom GPTs, create new plugins, orchestrate workflows, monitor, in fact, your Copilot performance, manage your customizations, and much, much more.
So here's a look at what Copilot Studio will look like. It looks like you'll be able to train your own data into it, use custom GPTs, add plugins to it, and it looks like they have this really cool visual builder where you can sort of string together elements that you want your Copilot to use. So it almost, to me, looks like an even more advanced version of what we're getting out of GPTs. By taking a peek at the Copilot.
What have I said about UI, right? Like, make the UI smooth, make it accessible to everyone, and they will come. And
Studio website here looks like you can use your own data here, integrate it with all sorts of other tools, point it to your own website, and it looks like we can try a demo or try building our own free version right now. But let's try the demo here real quick, and let's plug in futuretools.io and start the chat. And it says, "Hello, I'm the virtual assistant for futuretools.io. How can I help?" Let's type, "What tools can help me cut long form videos into short form videos?" Looks like it says you can use WiseCut and Spike Studio to cut long form videos into short form videos. Let's go ahead and open these and see if that's what these actually do. WiseCut is an online automatic video editing software. It automatically cuts down long videos into shorter, impactful content. Spike Studio, from long form videos to viral clips in one click. So even their demo is already pretty useful. Microsoft Copilot Studio is definitely something I'll have.
Same thing that happens every other time, you know? that is a continuation of the current meta. I don't have a good answer for you because we haven't even answered how that exists within the existing meta. And nobody cares. That's the problem. You know? But even if they do, the point is, even if they do, no one cares enough to solve the problem. No one who could solve the problem cares enough, and no one who cares enough can solve the problem. So we just have to proceed, for better or worse.
To make a deeper dive video on in the future and really put it through its motions and see what we can do. Let's see how it compares to GPTs. But again, I've got to save that for a future video. And something else that came out of the Microsoft Ignite event, although it wasn't in the main keynote, was this ability to create what TechCrunch is calling deepfakes. Really what it's doing is similar to what we've seen from tools like DID or HeyGen or Synthesia, where we can give it text prompts and it will create a talking avatar where the lips look like they're moving. Pretty much what we've seen from plenty of other tools. It looks like Microsoft is just kind of creating their own version. But here's a quick demo.
Hello, I am Christina. Let me show you how to create an engaging avatar video in 4 steps. It begins with a talking script for your avatar.
I actually don't think the lips move very well to the voice on this one yet. I feel like DID
Not even a little
and
bit.
HeyGen do it quite a bit better still. But interesting to see that Microsoft is rolling this out as well. Not something I would have actually expected from Microsoft. They also appear to be...
But that's another job gone, right? The face, yeah, I mean, that job has kind of been gone or going, but now it's done, right? Why would I hire a person when I can do it with software?
Be rolling out an 11 Labs style thing where you can train your own voice for text-to-speech models. Moving on past Microsoft, although Satya and Jensen Huang did mention that they were going to be using H200 chips in their upcoming cloud computers, it was actually only this week that NVIDIA announced that they'd even be making these H200 chips. NVIDIA H200 is the first GPU to offer HBM3E, because we know what that means. But essentially, it's going to have faster, larger memory to fuel the acceleration of generative AI and large language models while advancing scientific computing for HPC workloads. So basically, NVIDIA's making better...
They always skip the part that double the capacity and 2.4 times the bandwidth of the A100.
memory to fuel the acceleration of generative AI and large language models while advancing scientific computing for HPC workloads. So basically, NVIDIA's making better, faster chips designed for training AI.
There is
and
that.
Microsoft's going to be using them in their cloud computers. All right, moving on to Google news. Google's actually rolling out a Bard experience for teens. It's essentially what we've come to expect from Bard, but with more guardrails on it. Basically, they trained Bard to recognize areas that are inappropriate to younger users and implemented safety features and guardrails to help prevent unsafe content, such as illegal or age-gated substances from appearing in its responses to teens. Also, if teens ever ask for facts, it will automatically run their double-check response feature instead of forcing you to click on it anyway, which, in my opinion, seems like they should just do anyway. If you're going to ask it a question and you're looking for facts, why not always run the double check? But apparently they're going to do it for teens. Apparently YouTube is about to start cracking down on AI clones of musicians. They're going to start allowing music labels and the musicians to send takedown requests of music that uses the unique singing or rapping voice of an artist. They're also rolling out a requirement where you must let people know when your content was generated by AI, and you can see it's going to put a little label on the content saying altered or synthetic content. This is something people have asked me about recently. How do I feel since I am in AI and I'm also in YouTube? And personally, I think it's a great move. I think people should know if they're watching something that was generated by AI. So
now already I have seen, like, I like mashups, right? I've always enjoyed a good mashup. There are mashups that have existed and are disappearing, and I expect a bunch of that. Yeah, 100%. Like some of it, absolute fire. But some mashups have been disappearing, and I am concerned about that because like a mashup to me hits hits all the checkboxes for transformative and fair use, but like copyright, like what are you going to do? And it's the music industry, and the only thing worse in regards to people having access to creative tools and or creative content, the only thing worse than the mouse is the music industry, or vice versa, probably equitable. So, but on the other hand, and I think related to, is that YouTube is working with or is attempting to work with music companies to allow creations to be made. So what you might see is a tool that allows you to do it, and then it automatically tags and then automatically like parses out who gets what money out of any advertising revenue generated by the video. I find that to be, I don't think they'll take 100%. You want to encourage the money train to run, so you are going to offer some kind of compensation to the creators to make things. I expect that compensation to be low, but I don't expect it to be zero. I mean, there is that, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, and it will be zero for the creator of the transformative project. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but my friend J-Mart, who's on the show on Wednesday, introduced me to a thing called DJ, where you can take two songs and it will, using AI, mash them together. I'm hoping to get to play around with that tomorrow. One of the things that he's experienced is that in order to mash up a song, it needs to be like you have to have purchased it like from the Apple store. And so there's probably something there where the DRM tags it to the artist so that, you know, anything you do with it would then compensate those artists, so on and so forth. I don't know enough about it, but it sounds like an interesting idea and in the direction of the thing that I'm talking about with what YouTube might do.
Asking people who are generating AI content to inform you that you're watching AI generated content seems like a good thing to me. I don't really see the downside. The only people who would not like that.
The only downside I see to having labeled AI content is, one, like that picture that I showed earlier, that people will have a knee-jerk reaction to content that is created by AI in spite of any other factors that might appeal to them. And like in relation to like how people interact with, you know, that kind of content, it's like, yeah, it's a knee-jerk reaction thing and like that kind of stuff. What is Proposition 65? I know what Chicken 65 is. What's Proposition? CA Prop. Hey, look at that. Yeah, okay.
This are people that are trying to trick others into thinking it's not AI generated content. But speaking of YouTube and AI and also music, this week Google DeepMind showed off their new Lyria model, and they're trialing this Lyria model in an experiment they're calling DreamTrack. Basically, a limited set of creators will be able to use DreamTrack for producing a unique soundtrack with AI-generated voice and musical style of artists, including Alec Benjamin, Charlie Puth, Charlie XCX, Demi Lovato, John Legend, Sia, T-Pain, Troye Sivan, and Papoose. Some of these names I've never heard of before. These are all artists
Papoose. I'm back on my bullshit. That's a great song.
Gave YouTube permission and are working with YouTube and DeepMind to allow people to use their unique voice in new songs. They've also developed a way to watermark
You're
AI
not wrong,
audio
baby.
that theoretically the normal person won't be able to hear the watermark, but it does something to the waveform visualization so that somebody looking at the waveforms can actually see and detect the watermark. And while that last post was on DeepMind's blog, YouTube's official blog is talking about it as well. This tool's also able to do things like create horns by you just sort of humming what you want the horns to sound like.
I've seen this with another product, like that you just make the noises and then it turns it into music.
So you'll be able to generate custom AI music for your video.
And again, it's a matter of accessibility. Like I like it, right? Like give me a beat that goes boom, pa, boom, boom, pa, boom, and I don't have to figure out how to use a DAW or anything else like that or any of the other tools. I can just literally talk to the machine. The machine generates the song that I want to hear, and then while I'm listening, then I can add to it, and then you could probably insert commands like give me a rise, give me a drop, give me a fill, any of these kind of things, so you can hear what you like and then create something that expresses what you feel around what you like. You know what I mean? Exactly, Peter. Exactly. Oh, well, they say, welcome to the Wild West when it comes to copyright. We don't even know what the current AI stuff means for copyright because none of the lawsuits have been resolved, and we're already so far past the data sets that were created that led to those lawsuits. I don't even know, baby.
Shows that since it's AI, shouldn't have any royalty or licenses attached to them. Once again, something that seems pretty cool, and I can't
According
wait
to
get
that,
my hands on it. And finally, in other YouTube news, they've started to roll
until the AI copyright judge
out some of their AI features for people to test out. If you are a YouTube Premium user, you can test out the mobile versions of some of their new AI functionality. Right now, you can test out their conversational AI, where you ask questions about the video you're looking at, and I guess using the transcripts, it can answer questions about the video you're watching. And then they also...
I don't know why, I'm watching the video. Why do I need an answer? Like, it's in the video. Like, this functionality escapes me. Maybe y'all see something I'm missing and you can tell me, but I don't understand asking something of the video that I'm watching because I'm watching the video. If I just needed a summary of a video that might have some value and I could see it related to discoverability, it's like find me videos that talk about these subjects and avoid these subjects, and use this terminology, anything like that works for me. But having a conversation with a specific video, I miss.
Also have a comment topics summarized by AI, so you can just get a summary of what all the comments say without having to read them all. If you want to get sort of a general...
I never want to read the comments.
feel for what the comments are saying about a video, this tool will summarize them for you. Now, if you're a YouTube premium subscriber, you can go to youtube.com/new, and there are buttons to try these features out. So if you want to ask the questions, that's available now, but right now it's only available to YouTube on Android. You can also try out the comment topic summarized by AI, and this one is available on both Android and iOS. One thing to keep in mind, they only let you try out one at a time, so that you can't actually turn on both the comment topic summarizer and the conversational AI and have them both running at the same time. They only let you do one or the other. All right, I've got some really cool stuff to share with you in the AI art world this week. For example, Meta announced 2 new pieces of research around their Emu art generator model. They announced Emu Video and Emu Edit. Emu Edit seems to be their in-painting feature where you can edit very specific aspects of your AI generated images. They also announced Emu Video, which seems to be their version of what we've seen from something like Runway Gen 2 or Pika Labs or Moon Valley or all of the various AI video generators that are available right now. However, taking a peek at these, they actually look really good. They seem to have a lot more motion than what I've seen from some of the other video generators, like this prompt of a couple dances elegantly in a luxurious hall in a masquerade.
More motion, less tripping balls.
Ball photorealistic. That looks pretty dang good to me. This wood on fire prompt looks awesome as well. A pizza spinning inside a wood-fired pizza oven, dramatic vivid colors. A majestic white unicorn with a golden horn walking in slow motion underwater. A robot with a TV screen as a face at the Acropolis in Athens, 4K high resolution.
What the robot is showing off here is something that is challenging, which is the mirror aspect. What I'd like to see is a full 360 on this video to see if this exists like over here. You know what I mean? If they have that, then that's a huge deal.
A hamster wearing virtual reality headset as a DJ in a disco. But my guess, based on what I'm seeing here, is that they're all going to be pretty short generations still, like 3 or 4 seconds, like we're getting with the rest of the tools. Now, I don't know when we're going to actually get access to this. It says this work is purely fundamental research right now, but the potential use cases are clearly evident. But it appears to be some fun video creation and AI image editing models that should be fun to play with when they're finally available to normal people. Staying on the AI video theme for a second, here's something really cool to come out of Runway this week. I don't believe it's available yet. I don't see it in my Runway account, but it's the ability to do in-painting in videos and actually change what we're seeing in a video. So what they did in this video was they selected this truck here and made the truck the only thing that's moving. They selected just the smoke and made the smoke the only thing that's animated. The waterfall. The rest of the image isn't animated. You are just picking and telling it what aspects of these images to animate. And that looks like it's going to be really awesome and give us even more control over what we're doing with our AI generated video.
And this is the thing, like, you are going to be able to create within a relatively short amount of time professional quality shit in your house. Then the only issue that comes up is like how you get to discoverability and compensation, right? Like how do I make money off this? And how do people find me? Quantum internet, like quantum computing in the internet, I still I don't know where quantum, okay, not quite. Like an internet that only materializes in front of you as you've seen it. Yeah, I mean, that's been around for a minute, right? Like, because it's based on a variety of criteria. I would kind of say that I'm in a favor of that because I like if we're going to have advertising, I would prefer not necessarily to have advertising, but by the same token, I just did talk about discoverability. So if we're going to have advertising, I want more personalized advertising. What is this? I would prefer more personalized advertising, right? Like I want to. Somebody did something, and if it's one of you, I appreciate it. But it just freaked me the fuck out. Personalized advertising. I want stuff catered to stuff I actually care about rather than the shotgun approach. Especially, I am a 51-year-old white American male, which puts me in a lot of categories that don't apply to me. And I don't want to deal with any of that. And the most common place that I see this kind of shotgun approach is on Facebook, right? Because the advertisements I get on Facebook are related to my demographic rather than my interest. And my interest and my demographic don't line up with the normal 51-year-old white American male on Facebook. Know what I mean?
Videos, this is going to be game changing. Another cool thing in the AI video world is Deforum. And I've actually did a whole live stream with Deforum, with one of the creators of Deforum. And it makes these really cool sort of morphing videos where it sort of animates between various images. Well, now Deforum is doing a Discord bot to make it really, really easy to create these types of animations. In the past, you had to use something like
Lobster, we got a new Discord bot.
All sorts of settings and configurations and numbers and different knobs to turn inside of the app to get the video you want. And from what I can gather, you're going to be able to use the SDXL model and generate these Deforum animations pretty quickly and easily directly inside of Discord pretty soon. So something to look forward to as well. If you go to app.deforum.art/beta signup, you can actually get on the wait list. I do not know when this is rolling out, but I love playing with AI video, so this will be something we will deep dive in once we get access to it. Let's check in on Midjourney real quick. Ali Jules was on the November 15th office hours. They recently released a Niji style tuner. They announced that version 6 is coming out sometime in December. Apparently, we're going to be able to generate images directly from within the website within 1 to 2 weeks. However, it looks like it's only going to be available for people.
Well, that would make sense within the conversational computing aspect of it, right? Like that is one of the things that LLMs have really pushed to the fore is less I have to learn stuff in order to access things, which it has been a progressive process since the beginning of the internet, but to make it even more accessible. This is what I want, and then served up. That would make sense.
People who have generated over 10,000 images to start. It also looks like version 6 is going to have better text understanding. It's going to be very likely that version 6 will actually be able to write text. They claim it should be ready before the holidays if all goes well. So fingers crossed for that. There's this really cool tool that's been circulating this week called Krea AI, Krea. And it actually allows you to update images in real time. In fact, here's one of my buddies, Riley Brown, showing off what it can do. So check this out.
You can actually just add clip art. So if we add a clip art of this umbrella here and drag it down right here, he's now holding the umbrella. Look at that. He's holding the umbrella. And we're going to enhance it. Look at that image.
Now, this Kriya tool is still in beta. You can get on the wait list, and they are rolling out access to it. I did get access to it to try it out myself. I could give it a prompt like a man laying in the sand on a beach. And then over on this left side, I can start drawing here. So let's go ahead and select a background here. You can see now we've got our sort of beach sand color. Let's go ahead and add a rectangle. I'll make it blue. We'll put that right here. I'm gonna grab an ellipse here. Let's make it, I don't know, let's make it red. I'll make a little head here. I'll grab the paintbrush, draw a little stick figure lying here. This is supposed to be his towel on the beach. And look at that. We're getting a little dude laying in the sand on the beach. There's some other modes here: cinematic, illustration, product. Let's go ahead and leave it on cinematic here. And what's really cool about this is I can grab this image over here on the right, drag it over to the left, and now it's using this as my starting image. It enhanced this one over here on the right, and now I can continue to build off this. Let's go ahead and, grab a red color here and draw something in the sand up here, put something in the sand over here, something in the sand over here. You can see as I'm doing it, everything is changing. Now, I haven't spent a ton of time with this yet, but it seems really fun. You can even flip on your webcam and have it generate AI-generated images using what it's seeing on your camera. In fact, here's an example from Karen Chang that I saw earlier today where she's got the webcam
This is
mode
what
turned
dude
on,
was doing.
and you can see as she's moving around, the image on the right side is actually changing with her movements. It's pretty dang crazy. Again, head over to Krea, KREA.ai, join the waitlist. It's pretty cool. This week, Notion rolled out a new AI called Q&A. And basically what this does is you can ask questions and it will look across your entire Notion database. All the information.
I need this for keep. And I'm assuming that I'm going to get it as part of Gemini or something eventually after Gemini. And like the next step of that is where I can talk to my organizational tools to help me organize them. And then
you've ever plugged into your Notion, it can query that information. It's basically using everything you've ever entered into your Notion account for context for any questions that you ask it. So you can ask it things like, what were the action items from last week's website redesign meeting? And it will search all of your notes inside of Notion and bring up the action items from that meeting. If you're someone that uses Notion a lot, this seems like it will be really, really handy to find stuff very quickly. I'm actually going to be talking about it even more in one of next week's videos, so look out for that. Google's DeepMind developed something they called GraphCast, and it's an AI model that's faster and more accurate for global weather forecasting. It can actually deliver 10-day weather predictions with unprecedented accuracy in just 1 minute. And it can also offer earlier warnings of extreme weather events. It says here, for the inputs, GraphCast requires just 2 sets of data, the state of the weather 6 hours ago and the current state of the weather. The model then predicts the weather 6 hours in the future. This process can then be rolled forward in 6-hour increments to provide state-of-the-art forecasts up to 10 days in advance. It's almost like the way a large language model works, where it's constantly trying to predict the next best word in the statement that it's putting out. Well, this is looking at the graphs of the weather and trying to predict the next thing that's going to happen with the weather. It's very fascinating. And finally, I'm going to wrap up with this announcement of the Go Forward CarePod. This is an AI doctor's office. It appears to be like a little room that you walk into,
and
you go into this box, and it will actually scan your body to help detect all sorts of medical conditions. It could do genetic analysis, heart health, detect skin cancers, and even help analyze mental health. So in the very near future,
and I am amused that Forward will be known, if this takes off, that Forward will be known for this doctor's office and not for Yang's political party.
Future, this might be how medical diagnoses work. You walk into one of these boxes, it does all the scans it needs to do, and then passes that information along to a actual doctor to help figure out the next courses of action.
And the other thing, if this is a closed room, it like you could hose this thing down with disinfectant in between uses, right? Like this could conceivably be a much better way for like people that interact with this kind of space. AI already has a better name and use yes. What up, Ivan?
Actions, any sort of treatments that need to
Put your
happen,
dick
but
in the
the
box.
diagnosis process may become fully automated by AI in the very near future. And to me, that's pretty exciting because it will likely free up a lot of doctors to do even more important work. And I would imagine that the accuracy of these diagnoses are probably going to be pretty solid. Anyway, all of this stuff excites me. I'm a huge nerd. I love this stuff.
So I called it, right? I called the doctor, bought the Metapod. I called this. I'm sure that other people have called it, but in our time together, I told you that this was going to happen, and here it is. And that makes me feel good that I feel like I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I hope you love this stuff too. I'm excited to see this roll out. Who knows, maybe one day I'll be making a vlog style video where I'm getting a full health analysis by walking into one of these AI boxes. But there you have it. There's the breakdown of the AI news for this week. Again, I record these videos on Thursday, so there may be even more news that I missed from this video, but if there was, I'll make sure it's in next week's video. And if you do want to stay in the loop with all the latest AI as it happens, check out futuretools.io. I keep the AI news page up to date on a daily basis. I curate all the coolest AI tools that I come across, and I even have a free news.
And this is again like the boxes that you can tick free. Like, so there is a bunch of good tools here if you'd like to engage more with other AI tools outside of like ChatGPT and Bang and Claude 2 and those kind of things. All right. Okay, even when I set myself a reasonable, y'all don't understand what it's like to be a streamer. You just always, like, there's always more content than you expect. All right, we're going to raid Astro Canuck. Sorry, Ferris. Again, if you want to watch the movie, make sure you're in the Discord. We should be starting again in about like 15, 20 minutes for movie night. Yep. We're gonna watch I Am Mother, which if you haven't seen it, is a pretty interesting AI and robot type movie. I liked it, and I haven't seen it in a minute, and I'd like to see it again. Yeah, no, it's hard to find new stuff, right? You know, it is what it is. But yeah, about 15, 20 minutes. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming through. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that follow button. And there is that, yeah. And yeah. In the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot. Choggy loves you. So do I. Be good.